All right, before we start, citizens be heard is 3 minutes, so if anybody would like to speak, and I asked all council to try to direct everything through me, we'll try to keep some sense of. Okay, recognition, awards none. Motion to approve council minutes from April 1st. So approved. Second?
You pre-recorded that?
Questions, discussions?
There's just one edit that I think is needed under the approval of Borough Council minutes, just where it said in the third line, Councilor Feldman made a secondary motion to add, and I would just put in quotation marks, and the commission leadership. Otherwise, it just reads really weird. So just put a quotation marks in there before and after, and commission leadership.
Where is that?
Right, it's under the approval of Borough Council minutes, third line down, and
Between add and in.
yeah, it says Feldman made a secondary motion to add, and then put a quotation mark, and commission leadership, and quotation to the last sentence.
So you want quotation marks on what?
And commission
leadership.
And commission leadership. Otherwise, it reads like it's part of a sentence. And it doesn't make sense.
Everybody okay with that?
Sure.
Hey guys, if there's a correct spelling or a dot or two, we can call and have that changed, and we can have it done so it doesn't have to be over again. So any small changes like that, Millie and Steve are more than happy to do that, and it'll keep the meeting moving, and it will keep it from having to do it again. Okay, we have a motion second with the changes. Okay, all in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Citizens to be heard. All right. For business, ordinance 2015-03, amending chapter 39 of the Historic Commission. We advertised it for 8. Guess we beat it up. There's only one change. Do we have a motion to adopt?
So moved.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Any questions on that change?
Yes. There are questions. From the prior meeting, this change itself is actually supporting a violation of the Sunshine Act. The original meeting, I had to go back and look at dates, but the informal meeting that the commission had is a violation of the Sunshine Act. There is no such thing as informal meetings. All our meetings are scheduled, they are advertised. And I understand that the meeting hadn't been advertised yet, but then that would mean it can't be a meeting. And if you do...
We only discussed
But
when to
hold on.
have our first meeting. Now, Jim?
Well, that's not true, because the minutes said that you also discussed that wasn't the only thing discussed, because the ordinance came out of that, the amendment, the letter.
That has nothing to do with the ordinance.
Hold on, please. The letter dated March 13th was a result of the informal meeting, okay? And that was in the minutes, that letter of March 13th that was a result of an informal meeting that was held with the commissioners. And so that informal meeting, since that's a violation of the Sunshine Act, so it's like an unofficial or unauthorized meeting, and yet an official action came out of it. So council really, I think, made a mistake in even considering that ordinance that in the first place, because it really was not an official request.
Excuse me, may I ask a question? You can talk again, I promise. Jim, we had a motion and a second on the motion on changing an ordinance. It was done by us, for the committee. Is there a problem with the council conducting a business, making a motion and a second on changing something?
And which meeting is Mrs. Feldman referring to?
Ms. Feldman, our last
The
meeting.
meeting of what group?
The meeting of the Historical Commission, they had an informal meeting on a Saturday at which when they discussed, and they came up with where they wanted to request council to amend the ordinance to allow non-borough residents on as commission members. So as a result of that informal meeting, they then drafted a letter to council requesting this amendment. And council.
I don't think requesting an amendment's an official action. Council can amend the ordinance whether the historic commission says yes or no, or wants it or doesn't want it. Council is not limited to what the historic commission does at an official meeting or unofficial meeting, or formal or informal.
You can't have informal or unofficial meetings, that's a violation of the Sunshine Act. So when there's deliberation, you can have informational meetings, but whenever there's deliberation or decisions being made, which they did, as a commission, they submitted the letter to the Borough Council. So as a commission, that means they made a decision.
But the Borough Council is not bound by what they do.
Well,
My point is, if the Borough Council can adopt or unadopt, amend or not amend, in its discretion,
Correct.
whether the Historic Commission does or doesn't. So it's nice if they do, if the Historic Commission does, the Historic Commission doesn't, but that doesn't bind.
Doesn't bind the council.
Council, whatever, just like your Borough Planning Commission may or may not recommend approval of a land development. You, council, I don't care what they said. You know, whether it was formal or informal, we're gonna go no, we're gonna go yes. So I don't see, it's not like a fruit of the poisonous tree where if the Historic Commission makes a mistake, it then puts cufflinks on this.
Oh, I understand that. And that's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying that council shouldn't.
That shouldn't reflect on this motion whatsoever. We have a motion and a second, Jim, to change it by us, not by them. We're doing it independently on our own. So that shouldn't affect.
All right, well, I disagree that we're doing it independently on our own because it came as a direct request. However, so I have other issues with the amendment itself because, again, as a result of that meeting, it was talking about that there were two specific people that wanted to be added to the commission. And they finally found out who the people were, and they haven't both even applied. One has not even applied.
Sure they have, they both applied.
I did not see any application in our packets.
Well, then go back and look in your old
I
packets.
have looked at the packets.
No,
There's
we all
no-
got applications from all at the same time the original applications came through. And they were originally turned down because they were not residents. This is going back.
I have the ones that Millie
And I got one
Byerly
and you
gave-
didn't? I find
Yeah.
that difficult to
I
believe.
have them right here, the memo from Millie Byerly that has all the applications in it. It doesn't contain both of those commission
We got
members
them
that
in
we're talking about.
different packets, so we
Somebody
didn't
snuck
put them all at the same
into
time.
Well, your point's made, and any other
So,
points?
yeah, well, the other thing is, I think that this sends a message to the people of Downingtown that we're basically going to listen to and take the advice of commissions who are violating the law. And I think that we have a responsibility that, how can the citizens trust us or trust their government to do the right thing when we're endorsing basically breaking the law? So I think that this amendment should be turned down, if for no other reason, because it was done incorrectly and in violation of the Sunshine Act. And I also believe it only promotes the whole discrimination, because we're doing this in order to purposefully bring in two specific people onto this commission and who were not interviewed. In fact, the person who wrote the letter was not interviewed and did not submit an application. And yet we're going to be approving this amendment specifically for these two people. And another applicant who went through all the proper procedures was denied.
In a
I can't
different,
support
in a different.
Wait,
commission.
guys,
Has nothing to do with this.
Both of you guys,
This
we're
is
on
just
here, we're on this
commission.
ordinance here,
It's
let's
a
not
It's the
mesh everything.
process. It's the process.
Any other questions, guys, on the amendment? Okay, we have I'm sorry, Nick, go
No,
ahead.
this is just a small thing, because I was going back and forth. I thought this
Small
was the
thing?
historical commission.
I'm done.
Back on that again?
Remember, it started off historical, and then I made a recommendation to go to historic, but then that was changed on the original. Wasn't it back to historical?
What would you like?
I don't care what we want, I just want to know what we should call this.
I automatically disagree with
Can
Nick.
we both put it,
That's a given.
can we both put it in parentheses, but that's the thing, we have
I'm curious,
a.
what do we
I
call
mean,
this?
this was what you came to
My recollection.
I just remember that I thought we changed it back to historical, but if we did, then it's the historical, but I thought we changed it back to historical.
Now, we have a motion and a second. All in favor? Opposed? Okay. Motion carries. You can,
Because it's wrong.
Right, because we didn't change it back to historical.
Okay, guys, next we have Resolution 2015-5. It's for support, a resolution supporting the Main Street Elm Street program, state funding. It's asking Senator Denman and State Representative Harry Lewis to try to help us get some funds to keep in this program. It's pretty straightforward. That's all we're doing is just a resolution to try to help us and everyone else to,
Make a motion that we approve resolution 2015-05.
perfect. Second,
So moved. Second.
questions on the Elm Street program?
I'd like to comment that, that council do not approve this because I believe that giving more public money to Main Street Association at this time, the current Main Street Association is a mistake. At this time, they're not responsive to requests asking about how the public funds have been used to date. And so I don't believe that they are responsible or in a position where we should be trying to give them more public funds.
Thank you for your comment. We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
No.
Oh, I'm sorry, you have a
Can,
comment?
yeah, where do we stand with the Elm Street process though? Can you explain that? Is it a separate fund?
Elm Street. It's a residential.
I know what it is, I'm just wondering how tied.
So you guys don't get yelled, okay?
Because we just disagree
Oh,
on
yeah,
that.
you can help them. So yes, so there are programs, there are separate, Downingtown Borough does not have an Elm Street program. Elm Street is for housing, so if you have an Elm Street program, it's not your Main Street, whereas your Main Street programs are your business district.
But how do you foresee the Elm Street portion? You see it, like, would you, I'm saying because you're the guy right now, would you oversee both these programs, or would be another manager for the Elm Street program?
Right, so at the Commonwealth level, the funding is joined together. Some communities have a Main Street and Elm Street, we don't. If we had a Elm Street program, we could apply for Elm Street funding. Since we don't have an Elm Street, it would not apply to Downingtown.
So, okay, so we're not going after necessarily the Elm Street portion of it, and there's no plan in place for Elm Street or anything along those lines?
It's
Okay.
just, the funding.
So it's just, they're joined together, but we're only focusing on the Main Street portion of stuff. There's no plans for Elm Street in the future?
There isn't right now, but there is an opportunity with the redevelopment of the train station. They tend to sync up with Elm Street funding, that there's an opportunity to do residential grants for housing improvements in Little Washington and Little Jefferson, doing areas like that would be perfect, actually developing the train station. So an Elm Street program would work perfect.
We're not tying ourselves to ever saying we'll never ever apply for something in the future. So all this resolution is asking them for support. Anybody have questions on the, sure, Pat?
I just have a comment. I want to thank the Main Street Association for all the work that they've done for the borough, and I'm very much in support of this.
Thank you very much. All right, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Yeah, I'd like council to know that, really,
Excuse me.
no, this is really important to know, that I have.
We
I have-
asked, from now on, can you please ask to be addressed? Please, I'm trying to keep some order here, so we
Okay,
clear it out.
that only applies to me, I'm sure.
No, to everyone. Thank you. Go ahead, Ian.
That, in the past, I have requested minutes from Main Street. I was denied. I put in,
Is this on the Elm Street
this is about
resolution we're
Main
doing
Street.
now?
This is about Main Street. Main Street Association is going to be getting the funds. I think that that we need to know who the funds are going to. I have requested information about the parking kiosks in Main Street. They would not provide me the information. It was only asking about how they came to deciding about that that was the better vendor. Would not respond. And got to the point where, they told me that it's not a public record. I couldn't have that information, only if all of council wanted the information. All I'm looking for was just basically the matrix. Would not give it to me. Got to the point where Mr. Plonner would not respond to my emails at all. And I still don't have the information. It's basic information. I'm being denied.
Excuse me, and can you get back to the Elm Street
I am.
resolution? We'll
It-
vote on
it's-
this. If
it
you want to
is-
bring
it
that
is
up
Main
somewhere
Street.
else.
No, I want council to know, because this is the organization that you're
I'm
going
going to
to
ask you to
give.
please address
given-
the Elm Street resolution. That's what we're addressing.
I am.
Please keep it to that, because I'm ready to take a vote here in a minute. So if you have any more questions on the Elm Street resolution, go right ahead and ask them.
Yes, this
that pertain to
resolution is
that.
going to provide money to the Main Street Association, and they have not been responsive in telling council where the public funds are being used or how they're being used. I don't think that we should have a resolution where they are going to be receiving more public funds because they haven't been responsive in showing how they're supposed.
I'm confident that if council as a whole asks Main Street for that information.
Don't
Any-
even open that
Any
box.
council member can ask for information.
We have, I think she's made herself clear.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Councilwoman Feldman. Okay. Next, stop sign request at Bradford Avenue. It's- State Representative Harry Lewis had some constituents asked about it. Really, it should be all, we're going to turn that over to the Public Works and the chief and address it, so I apologize for that being on it, we'll deal with that in-house. Go to the order.
But, I'm sorry, since it is, can I just ask a question? Turn it over for them to look and see if it's doable, or to actually do it, or not do it?
No, not the, they won't do it, but no, it's just, it's, no, they had some concerns, he didn't realize the process, and of course, we would never do it, the chief would come, before us, and Jimmy, if he really thought that it was,
Chief Jim.
I'm sorry, the chief. All righty, go to the order. Anybody?
Yeah, the Downingtown Good Neighbor Christmas Committee is having a Kentucky Derby Night of the Races on Saturday, May 2nd at St. Anthony's. It's the same night as the real Kentucky Derby, and there will be lots of prizes. It'll be beef and beer and soda, and tickets are available through the Downingtown DTownChristmas.com. Oh, and I'll be hosting.
Are you gonna wear a big hat?
Lucky sevens.
Yeah, I already got last year's hat, I'll be carrying over to this year.
And what else would go on?
Well, I'll be tomorrow, or, no, is it?
Friday, I said the same thing.
Friday, the ribbon cutting will take place at approximately 8:30, is that 9? 9 o'clock.
Can everybody respond yes or no, so they know who's coming, if they want to address this? Pat's coming. Any other good in order?
Yeah, I'll go up there.
All right. Ann?
Start with you on Saturday. It's from 9 to 2. Registration is at 8, and it's free. It's at Kerr Park, and it's free for kids who are 15 and under.
What is this?
Explain it, explain what it is.
The trout
It's a
rodeo?
great, yeah.
Yeah.
It's great.
I really can't explain it in detail. The kids go and they catch fish.
Where are the fish? In the Brainy one, or one of those little ponds?
In the lake.
It's at Kerr Park,
They're
so
stocked,
it's,
they're raised fish, they stock them
yeah,
over there in the.
We used to have the first lake.
Yeah, it's first thing.
used to be, no, it's at Kerr Park, no, it's not at First Lake anymore. It hasn't been at First Lake for years.
Oh, 'cause
I
all-
figured
maybe because of all the algae. Already,
Yeah.
can the chief go?
Yeah, yes.
I just, on May 6th, council meeting, the beginning of the council meeting, we're gonna have a ceremonial swearing in of all the new officers with their families. I've invited these Township supervisors, so we have an opportunity to thank council, supervisors, civil service. And it's a big moment in their lives, 3 full-time, 2 part-time at this point, officers. We'll do that first and get that all out of the way. Judge Tartaglio is going to do the swearing in, and just a little point of interest, he's a magisterial district magistrate down in Paoli. He's a great guy. He started his criminal justice or justice career as a part-time officer for the Bernardino. Left us, went to the different full-time, served honorably there, and was elected and then re-elected as a judge. So adds a nice local twist to it also. So.
Good. And we're gonna ask you, it's a nice affair, so don't have to wear any college shirts. So, go ahead, Josh.
Yes, the April 30th is the Downingtown Chamber of Commerce dinner at the Downingtown Country Club, if I'm correct. On April 25th is a pancreatic cancer fundraiser at the Whitford Country Club, and that's organized by Downingtown Resident. And then May 1st is the Just Kind Domestic Violence Center annual fundraiser in Glen Mills.
Next meeting is May 6th. Nick?
Motion to adjourn, but
Motion to adjourn.
All in favor? Thank you, everyone. Have a good meeting. Make sure, stay organized.
Excuse me.